Hello everybody, it's Fili Dragon from Atomic Monsters, and another deck tech I have here. I actually did a deck tech for this not too long ago. It's my Godzilla list. However, I was doing that under my old format where I would record a deck tech and then take it in a multiplayer, and multiplayer games get really long often. Plus, there were some issues that delayed the start of the game, so it was a really long video. It wound up being 3 hours. So I'm doing a new format where I'm doing the deck tech plus taking the game into one versus one just to like show the flow of the game. Unless of course the deck's really only good in multiplayer. Um, so we're not playing for results, just to like give an idea of what the deck can do. This is a casual deck. It's pretty strong for casual. Um, what you're looking to do really is just like turbo out Godzilla, and you want it to be able to fight things. There's a lot of fighting effects and stuff to pump up its power. And second here, we're running 30 lands in here. You can probably run a few more. I run really tight mana builds with a lot of card advantage and ramp. Uh, my usual deck started about 28. I can see if you don't have access to a lot of the cards in here, you may want to run closer to maybe 40, somewhere between 35 and 40, depending on what you have. But there's a lot of stuff in here I think is really useful and fun. We're running a red elemental blast and a pyroblast simply so you have some interaction, as well as a veil of summer, because you do need counters. That's our counter interaction, as well as a heroic intervention. For card advantage and tutoring, we've run stuff like Traverse, which is really good at finding a basic, or if it's later in the game, it'll find you any creature you want. Titan Strength both as a pump and a scry effect. Samet Sprint is similar. Immolation acts as both a pump spell and removal. You can use it to kill off pretty much a lot of stuff. There's a loop with Dockside and Tamara Sabertooth in here. And as well as if you can get aggravated assault or at least seize the day, as well as a sword of feast and famine or a bear umbra, you'll probably win the game on the spot. Aggravated assault will give you infinite attack steps, and seize the day will probably still give you enough to kill everybody. It'll only give you 2 extra attack steps though. We have some card advantage. Chandra's Ignition is really good with Godzilla. Titania is in here because specifically it makes 5/5s for the sake of what Godzilla does. There's a few mutate effects. So stuff like Drum Hunter for card advantage, Myth Unbound as well. Make sure that you can keep Godzilla in play. Sylvala as well for card draw and mana ramp. Colossal Majesty. I'm very picky on what draw spells we run in here because I find there's some that's like there's a one that I forget the name of it, lets you draw cards equal to the power of target creature, which you just get brutalized if someone targets the creature. So I'm trying to keep stuff that can keep value even through removal. Which requires expertise. I don't run Sunbird's Invocation very often, but this is a deck I find that really likes it. Plus for game ending, you have Finale. A lot of this extra stuff in here can be whatever you want. There's a lot of fighting mechanics. Compost, just simply because you run into a lot of black and it's usually pretty solid card draw as a result. Sylvan Library, Wheel, Chaos Warp is a really good removal. I accidentally, when I was putting this together, was picking up the promos, and I cut a card, and I didn't remember what it was. So in that slot, I put Snake Umbra because I knew it was in the 3 mana slot. I can't remember exactly what it is I cut. Domri really good in this. Makes stuff uncounterable, gives you extra mana, gives you a fighting mechanic, and pumps up the attack. Fire Prophecy, I'm finding it would be a really, really solid piece of removal and card advantage. And you get stuff like Fist of Flame, Psychotic Fury, Battle Rage. It's just all around good fun. So let's get a casual game going with Godzilla. So this is a new format we're going to be doing deck techs. Unless anybody says that they don't like this, in which case we'll think about it. We'll see what people are saying. Just makes them quick. People are more likely to watch them, I think. You really people just want to see what the deck does and what's in it. This is not a keep. We're playing against Safi. Safi is often competitive, or at least semi-competitive. It's a really strong commander. This is a good keep. I actually think we're definitely keeping this, but I think Greater Good's really good, especially if you get the God, because you can just cycle the God and keep redrawing it. I think we cut the Titan Strength. Stuff like 3 visits is hard to find for some people. If you don't have access to it, that's another reason you might want to run more land, or um, maybe even mana dorks. Reason for keeping Titan Strength is I could have scryed, played the Prismatic Vista and scryed off of a mana dork they played. Which would, which is happening. Mm, just gonna get a Savage Land, or Stomping Ground. Sorry, Stomping Ground here. Safi can be really, really, really good. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So Godzilla with haste next turn. I don't want to draw land here, so I'm going to use the Vista right away. Ooh, that's probably game. Anyways, let's get into another one. This deck is also far more better in multiplayer than it is in one versus one. If you want to see a good multiplayer version, well, even the last game I played multiplayer was okay. How much you can do against Pattern Rebirth on a Safi. I guess one thing I want to say is I wish the deck editor had an undo effect, so I can undo a change I make. Um, what happened is I went and updated my gem razor to the Angurius, and when I went to cut out the existing gem razor in my deck, I was thinking it was the 3 mana card because I only ever mutate it, so I dropped it and then slot this slot, and then my brain just clicked a card and yanked it, and I can't even remember what it was I cut. And I know I was running Snake Umbra at some point. I just can't remember if that's the card that I had in this build. And I was looking through my 3 mana green and red stuff, and I know it was a green card I cut, so I'm thinking it had to have been Snake Umbra. Now what I need to do is just find a player. Mutate effects here are combination of flavor and value. Cloud Piercer and Starks are just like good. So is Great Horn. Uh, so is Gem Razor and Destroya. But honestly, Destroya gives Godzilla flying. But these two are primarily there specifically for flavor. And if I was only running um, these two and this one, I could see cutting these two. God Eternal Ronus, that's what I was talking about with Greater Good. You get a loop. That's also a loop with Tamir Sabretooth. Why join a game and then drop? Because Unbound is really, really important for this deck because you're focusing so much on Godzilla. You could also make this into a food chain deck if you wanted to, but I see no real reason in doing that. It's not where this deck wants to be. Actually, I need to check how Mutate works with uh, food chain. Because I know when you change zones with a stack of mutates, they all go at once, and some cards interact really interesting with that. For instance, um, if you Winds of Abandon on Overload and hit a mutate stack, they had a land for each creature in the stack. This deck could handle a Vandal Blast if you wanted to find room for it. There we go. No ramp here. So I'm going to mulligan this. For making multiple Godzillas. Helm of the Host actually can come out. It's not doing what I want it to. That could be something else. Maybe I kept that for Domri. That's better. 4 cards. This is not good. Yeah, I should have kept that Domri. Oh, carpet. Wow, that's useful. I think I'm gonna slot in just a Bird of Paradise for now. Yeah, this deck, every time I played it 1 versus 1, it doesn't do very well. But it's really, really good in multiplayer. I'd be surprised if we get a good game out of this. Like, this carpet would have been good for sure in a 4-player game. I could play this out, but it's going to take a while. I mean, we could play that out, have a good game and stuff, but that's going to take forever. Oh, this is good. This is useless here, so if we get a Chrome Box or some way to discard that, we'll discard it. I'm going to play the Taiga first. Because there's a fair chance we might want to just drop out Destroya. like that. Actually, gonna go. Yeah, he's just prone to wasteland, but hmm. Yeah, if I draw, I'm gonna drop down Destroyer. This is the type of deck. This is the type of match where I need to get threats out. Plus, if I just top deck a Gem Razor, it'd be really useful. When I get this, the goggles off. Good news is it's actually a little harder for Torbrand to kill Godzilla. What can I Green Sun Zenith into play? Make it Sabretooth. Let's just bounce Destroyer and put it on the Godzilla if necessary. Hmm, that's pretty sweet. Actually, we're gonna go this route. This card's really good. Let's just keep up intervention. Great. I don't think you read Godzilla. People don't read Godzilla. Godzilla, damage is based on power, so that only did 4. Okay, now I think we just grab Xenagos. Even double bolt won't kill Godzilla. Okay, I thought they just disconnected. Anyways, that's Godzilla. There's another post with a much longer game that has a longer multiplayer game, and plus, I'm probably going to be running him in some multiplayer games for fun. When I run casual games, I actually really enjoy this deck. I'll try and figure out what Snake Umbra was and put something else in, but that's Godzilla. uh, so yeah, everybody have fun.